UFC heavyweight prospect Chris Daukaus. Thank you, Chris, for joining me.
Thank you,
The
John.
last time we spoke, man, a couple months ago, we were talking about Contender Series, CFFC, and you told me
Yeah,
I'm ready for anything, even the
yeah,
UFC, and boom, you got that opportunity and you went in there and
yeah.
performed really well, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me on again. It's always a pleasure.
No doubt, man. Now, something that every fighter deals with when they enter the UFC is USADA.
Mm.
How has
Yep.
that experience been dealing with them, and what does it mean for you to be fighting for an organization that tries to keep it clean as possible?
Uh, USADA was a little overwhelming to begin with, just because they give you a giant pamphlet of everything that you cannot take and things that you can take and things that you are allowed to take out of competition, but then in competition you're not allowed to take. So it was kind of get used to, and then just the like the app that they have. It's kind of like you have to put your whole life on there, just just in case someone shows up, to test you. But it's getting used to it. It's fine. It's part of my daily routine now, so it's nothing crazy. Being a part of an organization that actually does that is great. I love it. It's something that is going to improve the sport, obviously, and I'm all for it. I don't care what other people say about anything. Certain things I disagree with people getting popped for, such as like marijuana and stuff like that, because of how the mindset in the country and all over the world, everything's like changing now. So I'm for certain things getting off the ban list, but I'm not in control of that. So I just have to do what they tell me. But obviously, I can't do that anyway. I'm a police officer, but you know, so yeah. But for people who do get popped for things like that, I feel for you guys, and I'm behind you 100%. So
Definitely, man. Well, that's a good endorsement from a police officer.
yeah, right, yeah, right,
Now, your UFC debut, short notice,
yeah,
you go in there, first round knockout over Parker
mm,
Porter. You
yep.
didn't have much time to prepare. Do you think that kind of benefited you, going into such a big moment?
Yeah. I mean, I was preparing for the title fight for CFFC, like you said. I was getting ready for them, so it kind of worked out in my favor that I was already planning to fight, the week before. But yeah, I mean, the way that CFFC runs their shows, for people who don't know, they're one of the bigger, probably the biggest organization on the East Coast of the United States, and they're actually expanding, westward. So they've been doing shows in like Mississippi. They treat you pretty much like the UFC treats you in the way that they run everything, the way that the whole production crew set up and all that. So it was an easy transition from them into the UFC. So I was really happy with them, and I'm really happy to be fighting for the UFC now. So it's great.
That night, in the main event, it was DC versus Stipe 3, a
Yep.
huge night. How was it being around the atmosphere of such a major heavyweight title fight?
It was it was kind of surreal. I don't think like the whole moment of actually making my UFC debut on that card was kind of weird. It was kind of surreal. Like you're seeing these guys who you've been watching for years, and you're rooting for certain guys, you're rooting for other guys, and they're sitting next to you. And Dana White is giving a speech saying we're the best organization in the world. This is the biggest fight card of the year. Like, and you're like, I'm a part of that. Like it's awesome to be a part of that, and it's something I'll remember forever.
Yeah, and also DC retired that night. That's
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
be weird
It's
too.
it's definitely weird, but it's pretty cool being a part of history.
Mm.
To be a part of that. To his storied career, and just being a part of this, to say that not only was I there, but I actually like participated in the event, which is awesome.
Now, in the post-fight press conference, you talked about how people you haven't heard of from years, they messaged you when you got signed to the UFC.
Yeah,
What were the
yeah.
messages like after you got your first win?
It was my phone legit crashed for probably 2 to 3 days. I was getting so many text messages and messages on Instagram and Facebook. It was people were messaging me, congratulations. When everything opens up, I can't wait to come support you. I'll fly wherever, or we'll make a huge trip out of it. But I'm like I said in the interview, like where were all these people at when I was fighting for ticket sales? Like ask ask my manager. Like it was a whole big thing. Like
Mhm.
especially with CFFC, because they're big on ticket sales. Like they almost didn't sign me because I didn't sell tickets. And it wasn't because I couldn't sell tickets, but the people who I sold tickets to are like all cops. Like I said, they're all cops, and they're people who want to come support me and all that, but they just couldn't because of work. Or like my wife's friends are all nurses, like they all have careers and stuff that they have to do. But it's like, where were all these people at when I needed you 5 fights ago? It's I don't know. It's more the lines of like that. But then there was other people, like you said, there's people I haven't heard from in years, and they're all saying congrats. It's cool that they reached out, but if there are people who are saying that they want to come support me now that I'm in the UFC, it's kind of like you're 6 years too late, kind of.
Yeah, I think it's more important to support somebody when they're coming up rather than when they're
Exactly.
in the UFC.
Exactly. Fighters, especially MMA fighters, and a lot of these shows, it's no one gets paid. Like that's what people don't understand. Like, and in the UFC, I get paid. I get paid well. I'm happy with my contract. I'm happy with everything. But everyone thinks like we're making millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like I'm not making that, and I understand that. But like the local guys, like my first amateur fight, which is all ticket sales, I fought for $20. Like that's what I legit fought for $20. And in my first pro fight, I think I lost money. Like with all the medicals and everything like that, and ticket sales, I had to guarantee tickets. Like I lost money. That's what people don't realize. So that's when that's when they need the support, is when it's like they're making their debut. They're 0-1, they're 1-1, they're 2-0. That's when people need the support, especially just what's now COVID, but a weekend with the family, or a weekend with your boys or something, going out to support a guy you knew in high school. What's $50? $50 here, and he gets a cut of that, and you'll see a ton of fights. You'll see 15 fights a night. So support your local fighters.
It's so important, man, that when you get that platform to talk about
Yeah,
those issues, because that's
exactly.
so
Yeah,
important.
yeah, yeah, and that's what most people don't realize. Like they everyone thinks like, well, we get paid great, we have all these awesome things. Like when you get to the UFC and you start making money, yeah, you start making money, but until you're in the UFC or Bellator or ONE or all these other organizations, you're literally, sometimes you're fighting for nothing, and that's what people don't realize. So it's good to have allow me to talk about that a little bit. So
Yeah, of course, man. I know exactly what you're talking about, man. I've had so
yeah,
many conversations with so many fighters that are angry about that. Like
yeah,
they
yeah,
have to legit sell tickets to actually
yeah,
fight for a promotion, and
yeah,
also, even if you lose, if you sell tickets, they'll bring the guy back that sells tickets rather than the guy that won the
exactly,
fight.
exactly, and that's kind of the thing. Like some organizations, like they have like their favorites. They're like, all right, we're gonna have this guy on, but he sucks, but he sells 200 tickets, and you're like, what are you doing? Like, and then you have other guys who are clearly like straight up killers, like people who are like, all right, he's going to go somewhere that can't really sell tickets, and they can't get a fight, and it's not because no one's taking the fight, it's because no one wants to sign him, no one wants to have him on their show, because they know that they're only going to sell 15 tickets, 10 tickets, whatever. But I mean, it's weird because some organizations, like some regional organizations, actually make you sign a contract saying like that you guarantee certain tickets, and if you don't guarantee those tickets, like if you don't sell 50 tickets or 40 tickets, that comes out of your purse. That's what people don't realize. And if you're fighting for 1,000 and 1,000, and say you get your ass kicked, and that's $1,000, but you had to sell 45 tickets and at $55 a piece, you're not making any money. That's what people don't realize. So
Yeah, man. It's something, like I said earlier, just we need to talk about it more, and hopefully more fighters, when they come up, they express their true feelings about the situation. Now, you said USADA has become part of your daily routine. Has anything else changed in your daily life since being signed by the UFC?
no, not really. I mean, I get recognized a little bit more here and there, like out and about around town. Work, everyone kind of like breaks my balls a little bit. How I'm still a cop and I'm a UFC fighter, but I, I need the medical benefits of my job, so I
Yeah.
keep that definitely. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's been the same. I mean, I'm still doing the same things. I'm still training, still going to work, regular 9 to 5. So
Yeah.
it's
They
the
could break your
usual.
balls, but you could break their
Yeah,
neck. So it's
pretty much, pretty much. Yeah, yeah,
it works out.
yeah. Right. Yeah, it's good.
Now, 2 fights within a span of 2 months, basically. How
Yeah.
long have you known about the Rodrigo fight? Did you know right after the last fight?
No, it was probably a week or two, maybe even 3 weeks. They called me asking to fight. They didn't really have any information, like giving me any information. So I didn't really know what was going on. I just had a name, and then I had a date, but I didn't have any like locations or any kind of specifics or anything like that. It was just like, yeah, do you want to fight? And it was kind of like a, yeah, I'll fight, but I just have to see if I can get off work type thing. And that was kind of like a little bit of a hold up getting off work, and then I ended up able to do it. So here we are. We're getting ready to go. So it's only, I think it's like what, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks out. So it's good.
Did you have any issues with like getting a passport or even a visa to go
No,
over?
no, nothing like that. I've had a passport for a while. Doesn't I think that's good for what, close to 10 years or something now
Hmm.
that they're doing. So I'm good with that. And then yeah, I mean the visas are all good. I just send in all my information and let the UFC handle everything because they're running the show, and they tell me where to show up, what to wear, and who to fight, and I'm pretty much all right. I'm down. Let's go.
All right. Well, Rodrigo, he's an undefeated Brazilian. He's fought once in the contenders. He's fought once in the UFC, both submissions. What are your thoughts of having him as your second fight for the promotion?
It's definitely it's a good fight. I'm excited about it. He's 8-0. He's he's good, so it's a good little test. I'm a little bit more experienced, but it's going to play a factor, I think. Um, he's from a big name gym, ATT. He's out of there training with the best of the best, but they're not in there to help you. So it doesn't make a difference to me who you are or where you're from. Like if all of a sudden Dana White calls me and is like, hey, that fight's off. You're fighting Stipe. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Like for the belt or for out or no belt, does not matter to me. Like the game plan doesn't change. You're just getting smashed. It doesn't change. So I mean, he presents certain challenges that it'll be good to work on for my career and going through this training camp and all that. So I really can't wait to show everyone the improvements, even from my last fight, just the little improvements that I worked on from that one, and then helping my brother get ready for his fight. So it'll be good.
Yeah, one thing interesting about the UFC heavyweight division is that if you get 2 or 3 impressive performances, they'll
Mm-hmm.
give you a big name. Look at
Yeah,
Tanner
yeah,
Bozer. He's 2 knockouts in
yeah,
a row, and now he's fighting Andre Arlovsky. Man, do you see that?
yeah,
Envision yourself doing that?
yeah. Definitely, it's definitely a possibility, and it's definitely something that I'm hoping for. I don't have any kind of lofty goals. The goals are just to win, keep winning, stay in the division, stay relevant, and to win the belt and just make my way up to that title shot. And how you do that in the heavyweight division is by simply knocking everyone out, beating everyone in impressive fashion, making people talk about you. On Monday morning when they're back at work or wherever they're doing, it's just to make people remember you, and that's what I plan on doing.
I saw that you received your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt after your last
Yeah.
fight.
Yes.
What does that mean for you, and do you think it's gonna come in handy against a Brazilian?
We'll see. I mean, it means the world to me. I mean, I got my black belt from Will Martinez, who's a black belt on the Carlos Machado. So it's it's something that I've been doing for a long time, and a lot of my fights, people don't see that. They just see me knocking everyone out. They see the skill set that my brother brings, and he's choking everyone out. So it's just the level of jiu-jitsu that we have in our school is just it's it's higher than everyone. It's higher than everyone realizes. Like they see me knocking everyone out, but I'm comfortable going to the floor with anyone. It doesn't matter. Um, I'm just gonna outwork them. It doesn't matter to me.
Training, has it been the same cast, or have you brought anybody in to maybe emulate Rodrigo?
No, we're not doing that. Same cast, same people. I have my core group of guys, especially still with everything with COVID going on. You can't be I don't want to be bringing anyone in, endangering everyone else in the gym. So, I have my core group of guys, the big guys that are in the gym. I know them. They know me. We know how to push each other, and they know how to push me to get ready for a fight. And then just, with striking and everything like that, we have everyone that we're going to need at the gym. So there's no need to change anything up. And I'm not the type of person, and neither is my brother, to be, going out there and seeking new people. I mean, we've got here doing what we've been doing so far, and there's no reason to change it.
Now, UFC Fight Island, there are mixed feelings about that from fighters. I've talked to many fighters going over there for the first time. Do you love the idea of going to Abu Dhabi?
I like the idea of going to Abu Dhabi. It's definitely a trip that I probably wouldn't have taken if I wasn't fighting for the UFC, strictly because of how far it is and how expensive it is and all that. But I mean, my wife hates it. She hates that she's not going. But I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to go. I've been trying to do my best to see what other fighters who have already fought there, what they've been doing. So I've been following the city kickboxing guys a lot. Like Rose Namajunas and Trevor Whitman, they put out a good series about what they were doing while they're over there with Usman and all that, and how the time differences and everything has changed. So I plan on following what they were doing, just to keep everything aligned so that nothing changes as far as like training schedules, my sleep schedule. That's what I'm a little nervous about, the sleep schedule, but I think I'll be all right.
Who are you taking with you to Abu Dhabi? It's a big trip, man.
Big trip. My brother's not going because he's getting prepared for his fight. So he's going to stay home, do his camp. I'm taking my head coach, Will Martinez, and I'm taking Steve Hague. Steve Hague, if you don't know, he's the OG in Philadelphia MMA. He was originally Eddie Alvarez's coach, Fight Factory pioneer and all that. So he'll be flying out with me as well. So it'll be a nice little OG squad that we got going. So it'll be good.
All right. It's always good to have two OGs have your back.
That's right. That's right.
Your brother, he's prepared for a fight. I don't think they announced that. So maybe you will be hearing something
I don't
soon.
know what you're talking about. So, yeah. So it'll be good. But, yeah, expect something coming down the line. So sorry, guys. But
For sure. No doubt. Yeah. We didn't spill anything new. There's fights being announced all the time, man. Like, you don't even know when it can be announced. So
exactly. And you go on Twitter, and if you miss an hour on Twitter, you miss 30 fights that got announced. So it is what it is.
And cancellations too.
And cancellations. There's a lot of cancellations going on. So
you mentioned that you're going for the knockout. Is that the mentality? Every single fight, pretty much in the UFC moving forward, is like, let's get this knockout. Because the first one, man, it was incredible.
Thank you. No, it's not. It's not I'm going for the knockout. It's just put hands on people. Just touch them and see how they react. It's just, all right, I'm faster than 95% of the heavyweights out there with my hand speed. Touch them, see how they react, see them freak out, see them, get off their game plan, and just have them walk into big shots. Just set them up, have them walk into big shots. And that's just what I plan on doing. It's outworking people both on the feet and, in the clinch and the wall. Wherever it is, I just plan on outworking everyone. So,
all right, man. October 10th, UFC Fight Island. Chris, appreciate the time, man. Good luck on the fight. All the best, man.
Thank you.
And I'll be reaching out again, man. Next fight.
Sounds good. Can't wait to talk to you again and give you my experience at Yas Island. So, soon enough.
Hey guys, Sasha Platnikoff here, letting you know to tune in to SCMP Post Fight for all your weekly martial arts news.